be making and using line graphs now. Line graph is an excellent way, probably the best way that we have to show how things change over time. So it might be uh, temp like temperatures changing from month to month, or um, the height of something changing, keeping track of a plant and how it's growing from week to week or day to day. So as you look at something and how it's changing over a period of time, over a period of days, over a period of months, over a period of years, as you look at that, a line graph is the best way to show that change. All right, so I'm going to do just a line graph here talking about fifth graders and sixth graders. They're going to be selling magazines, and we're just going to keep track of how many they're selling each week. Got the graph paper here, and we're just going to make this whole thing. Make sure we put a title up at the top and label the y-axis, this vertical one, label the x-axis, this horizontal one, and really do the whole thing. All right, so let's get started. First of all, let's put a title. We're looking at magazine sales for fifth graders and sixth graders. So we can put that right up here. Okay. Now, as I look at my scale on this side, this is going to be how many magazines are sold. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and put that down here. This is going to stand for magazines. Now, as I look at my magazines, I've got to get all the way up to 41 for fifth graders. So I look at my slide here, got 28, 34. So the highest I have to get up to is 34 for the sixth graders. I'll just leave that over now. So as I look at my 0 down here, how far do I have to get up to? I have to get up to 41. So if I count by tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, you can see I'm going to have a huge empty space up here. So I'm going to count by something smaller than that. I'll try 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So I end up with 50 up here. This is 40. So 41 is going to happen right up in here somewhere. So I would have just a small amount of wasted space. So I think that's going to be a good amount. If I wanted to try 40, I could. I ended up with 40 up here. And I have to get 41, which would be up and over the graph paper. So that actually wouldn't make sense. So 5 is going to be my best amount here. So here's the interval I've chosen. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and 50. All right, so week 1. Oops, sorry. To get my x-axis all labeled. Now again, if I go week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, then I'm going to have all of this wasted space over here on the edge of my graph. So instead of going 1, 2, I'm going to skip every other and go, this is my first week, this is my second week, third week, fourth week, and then fifth week. So then I have used up my entire piece of graph paper. Make my graph really easy to read. I'm going to need a word down here just to label this. These numbers are weeks. All right, so I'm ready to start putting in my information. Week 1 for 5th grade is 41. So here's week 1. I want to go all the way up to 41. So I found 40 and just went a little bit over. If I get all the way up here, that's 45, so that's too far. 2 for 5th graders is 33. So I'm going to keep on going up here. This is 35, and this is 30. So I'm going to be a little bit more than halfway. Now I have 33. 19 is my 3rd week. So here's 25. That's too much. Here's 20. 19 is just below 20. Up back over 20 now. A little bit closer to 20 than I am to 25. And number 5, week 5, ending right on 20, so I can be right on that line. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and make some lines here now. If you were going to be doing this, you'd be doing it with a ruler. Using a straight edge. Okay, so this is what's called a line graph right here. It keeps track of data over time. And now I'm just going to add the 6th grade. So when I add the 6th grade, it's going to turn from a line graph into a double line graph. So I'm going to do a little label down here, just so that people reading my graph know what these stand for. So when people read my graph and they see that black line, that's the 5th grade. All right, so now as I go into the 6th grade, I start looking at their information. Week 1, they were at 28, so that's going to be just a little bit less than 30. Week 2, they were at 34. I'm going to go right up. See that the 5th grade was at 33, so whatever my dot ends up being here, I want it to be a little bit more than the 5th grade dot. So right below that line. 26 was the next one, so I find 25, go a little bit above 25. 18, find 20, you go down just a little bit from 20. And then the last one is 20, just like the 5th graders. So they'll end right on that same spot. All right, now as I put in my line here, I want my line to be different than the 5th graders. And so I could choose to make it a different color. I could choose to make it a different style. So whatever it's going to be, make my decision and go with it right there. So I think I'll go ahead and make mine a dotted line. So I'm going to go in here now. Connect all of these for the 6th graders. And ending right on that same exact spot. And then down here on my key, I want to make sure that people reading my graph knew that when they saw that dotted line, that was the 6th grade. All right, so this is how you can take a look at line graphs, and in this case I made a double line graph, keeping track of 2 different groups during that same time period. All right, so I hope that helps on how to make line graphs and or double line graphs.